Reading is one of those things that people say they want to do more. But let's be real, how often do we actually sit down and do it? And when we do, why does everything else always feel more fun? But as so many of us get more distracted from reality and less happy, maybe it's the right time to take a little step away from some of the technology that surrounds us every day. Reading has the potential to be so much more than just a hobby. Whether you read fiction or non-fiction, spending time actively engaging with something that takes time to get through has more benefits than you might think. It can be a way of life and truly life-changing. And I know that I have to learn a lot in that regard myself. Honestly, I often catch myself drifting off, even during conversations with people I care about. I'm present, but my mind is waiting for the next hit of excitement, wherever that might come from. Sometimes I notice myself focusing more on the environment and conversations around me than the one that I'm having at that moment. Due to social media and all the noise we constantly have in our lives, our brains get used to it and expect something new and interesting happening all the time. We've been conditioned to be distracted from our real lives, from our problems, from our own thoughts. But the great thing is we can also recondition ourselves to find joy in simpler and slower things. I haven't talked a lot about reading until now, but what I've described so far is probably what's keeping you from reading. You might watch a bunch of videos about reading on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram, the 3 deadly apps, and they sometimes give you the feeling that you miss reading. But maybe what you really miss is just the idea of reading, the thought of it. Sitting in a comfy room or cafe, sipping your fresh coffee while you lose yourself in the pages. But if you're watching this, it's possible that at your core you might not really want to read. That you really prefer watching videos and not engaging in a book. I feel like so many people only want to seem like they want to read more. They want to talk about reading more instead of actually sitting down and reading. This is a phenomenon that you can observe with many other things as well. And I've certainly done that in many situations. But let's assume you're different, as all of us tend to do on a daily basis. You really want to spend more time reading again. Then we need to talk about habits. We have to get a little bit strategic about it and start really small. I'm not gonna get too deep into habit formation here, but I've made a little video about how to change your behavior if you're interested. But in short, keep the behavior small at the beginning. Don't set the bar too high. Even if you're fired up to do more, it's about reading every day and not about reading 50 pages in one sitting and then not reading for the rest of the week. Try to see reading as a long-term habit, as something that you will do every day for the rest of your life, at best. And then you will hopefully also stop stressing so much about trying to read all the books at once. But what if you're already doing that and you're still not feeling it? Well, maybe reading just isn't for you. But it's more likely that maybe you're just spending too much time online, which makes reading feel like a drag. And that's why you don't like reading anymore. Then the solution would not be to just force yourself to read more or to buy even more books in hope of feeling so guilty that you absolutely have to read. It's also not watching more videos about how to enjoy reading. Maybe it's time to look at some other habits first before you can focus on your reading habit. For example, reaching for your phone or opening a new tab and typing in YouTube as soon as you get bored. Maybe it's time for a little entertainment detox, where the only form of entertainment you're allowed to consume in your free time is that book that you've always wanted to read. If you really want to fall back in love with reading, I believe that you need to give up high-intensity entertainment for a while, or at least dial it down, depending on how much you consume at the moment. Once you step away from that constant stream of dopamine hits, you'll notice something surprising. Time slows down, your mind clears, and reading starts to feel like a fun activity again. You won't fall in love with anything if you don't spend deliberate time with that thing or person, whether that's reading, a hobby, or a partner. Stop bullshitting yourself by only talking about the things that you want to do, while you could also spend that time actually doing the things. So if you're serious about reading more and falling back in love with it, stop scrolling, close YouTube, and just start with that first page. Alright, normally at this point in the video I would send you to watch another video of mine, but I'm not gonna do that because I really want you to read. So if you want to support me and help me, just leave a like, leave a comment and subscribe, and then I say we see each other in the next one. Or not if you decide to stop watching YouTube, that's also fine. Bye bye.